Hi guys, Tiffany Caudill here. I am a double diamond leader with It Works Global. I wanted to talk about ranking up and basically the things that you have to do. I feel like sometimes people want to say that this business is really easy, and it just takes a lot of work. It may be simple, but it's definitely not easy. It's a lot of work and a lot of talking to people. So I want to go over everything that it takes to, recruit a lot of people in a short amount of time. And the other thing is you can sit here and teach somebody all that you want, but in the end, it's the action that makes the difference. So I can sit here and watch YouTube all day, but if I don't go in and do the action piece, then my business isn't going to change. My business isn't going to grow at all. So a lot of it is dependent on me, but you also have to have the knowledge. So I would say get a pen and a paper and get ready to get to work here. So the first thing is making a dream board. I know that Mark has a challenge out right now that anybody who makes a dream board, make a post about it and then post it on Facebook or social media, and you can have a chance to go in our Wrap magazine. So obviously there's an importance in that. He believes in the dream boards because he still uses them himself. I use them, and it has to be in an area in your house where you're always looking at it because you want to constantly be reminded of it. One thing that you can also do is get like a photo album and look at it every night before you go to bed, and or even whenever you wake up, and have things on each page and flip through that. And for me, you have to have a roadmap and you have to see what your end destination is. So that's what the dream board is. That's the point of what it is, because if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So that is exactly why you need that dream board, okay? I know I've had people say in the beginning that they didn't, think that there was importance to it. So that's like the number one thing. Before you can even start get moving, then you need to figure out what you want. After that, you need to figure out your why. So if you're doing this and you don't have some sort of push or a passion, then you're not really going to go as far as you think that you are. I know from my own personal experience, my goal in the beginning, was $100 a month, and then I redreamed and I wanted $300 for a car, and then once I got that, I wanted to stay home with my kids. Well, once I did all of that, I kind of lost my passion and didn't really know what I wanted. And it's taken me almost a year to figure out exactly what's pushing me and driving me to do this anymore. And I really have to stop and ask myself that, because I lose that sometimes. So I have to continue to redream too. And once you start crossing things off, you have to redream as well. So I have figured out that my next thing is going to be bringing other moms home and helping other people reach their goals, because then that's going to make me feel more satisfied. Money is great, but that's not something that drives me. Once I hit that point that I get to stay home with my family, that's my end point there. So I have to know what your guys' whys are. So what I'm going to do is, on top of the dream boards, I'm going to have you guys dig deep and figure out what your whys are. And then I want to have a conversation with you and sit down with you or over the phone, whatever works. And then we'll talk about your why so that I can help you more. And then once I know that piece, then I can kind of hold you more accountable that way too. Because if you're sitting here saying that you want one thing and then you're so passionate about it and, you're crying, because I would cry about me not being able to stay home with my kids, then it's a little bit easier for me to be like, hey, Pamela, you wanted this, and, now you can't quit now, so it kind of gives us both a little bit of a pull that way, and it helps me to help you too. So that's the second thing that you're going to have to do. And then I feel like if you don't do these two things first, then the rest of it doesn't matter either. You have to have this sturdy base before you can even do all of the action pieces. So these need to be your number 2 priorities, 1 and 2, to do this before moving forward. So the next thing that you're going to do, and this is going to take a piece of pen and paper for you, is know what it means for you to rank advance or whatever your goal is. So say you want Ruby, or say you want Diamond and you want to get that high 5 bonus. You need to figure out what it means for you. So, get your steps to success printed out, map out your charts, print your charts out, know exactly where you need distributors at. So you know the second you sign somebody where they're going, you have to know that game plan. And then you need to write down so that you can look back on times that, you know, you're going to want to quit sometimes. You're going to want to take a nap some days because you're tired. You're going to want to go to bed earlier or not wake up earlier. All of those things are going to happen about a week after, like after getting all pumped up. About a week later, you're going to feel like defeated or like you want to quit and it's not worth it. I know that that's how you're going to feel because that's how I feel. But if you go back into your book or whatever it is that you're writing this stuff down, it's going to remind you and bring that fire back into you. So the first thing, so you're going to write down what it is that you want. So ruby, diamond, emerald, whatever it is. Most of you, I know it's that high five bonus, so diamond. You're going to write down what that means for your commission. So the average annual income is going to be that $1,900. So you're going to write on there, you know, commissions, $1,900. And then how that's going to increase from what you are now. And then the next thing is your bonuses. So say I want to recruit 10 people. What does that mean? It means I'm going to get 10 fast start bonuses because I'm going to help those people get 2 loyal customers and 4 loyal customers and help them get in the 400 club. So I'm going to get a $100 fast start bonus on each of those people. So that means on top of my commissions check, if I sign 10 people, I'm getting another $1,000. So I have my commissions, I have my $1,000 in fast starts if that's what your number is. So everybody's numbers are going to be different, right? Number 3 is going to be, you know, how this is going to change your check for the next year. So say, you know, now if I'm making $2,000 a month for the next 6 months, what did that do for my payment, you know, or my check? What did that do for the rest of my business? And then you're going to continue to grow from there. Then, you know, are you going to get a rank advancement? The answer is yes to that because that's exactly what we're striving for. And then you're going to look at it as like a total investment, a lifetime investment. So say that you go diamond and you go from ruby to diamond in 30 days. That's a huge push and that's going to be an inspiration to your team. And then you can, you know, continue to rank up throughout the year and even like as a lifetime. So then you're looking at, you know, your story and you having that value behind yourself. So now on top of your check and on top of your story, you now have value in yourself. Instead of telling other people's story, you now have your own story that you can tell. So what does that mean for you and the lifetime of your business, right? So you're going to put all of that down. And then for you to even say, I recruited X amount of people in X amount of days, like that's just going to be powerful behind you. And then what kind of example does that make you? What kind of value does that put on you as a person? And then if you're helping your team do those types of things, then you can say, I helped so-and-so do this. You know, like it's just creating that story and knowing what all of this month means for you. Like all of these things lining up this month, what is it going to change for you in that small amount of time? And then so even for like Pamela's story, you know, I went to conference and I came home and I worked and why are you calling me? Yes. Okay, I'll send it to you. But Pamela must have got kicked out. She was just in here. So what was I saying? Oh, Pamela's story. So she has her story. You know, I went to conference and I was a Ruby. And then, you know, after the 1 month or not even a full month, it was like 20 days, I went diamond. And then another 30 days, I went double diamond and we earned X amount of bonuses. So what does that tell you about conference? That it really changes people's lives. So now she's always going to be able to tell that story and her team's going to go to conference for the fact that it completely changed her business. You know, so those stories are super powerful. And then what's it going to do for your reputation? You know, people are going to look at you and like, dang girl, you're serious. Or, you know, people say that to me all the time. Like, oh, you have a decal on the back. Like that's some serious advertising. You must really be serious about your business. It's like, yeah, I don't want people to think it's a joke. You know, like when people see network marketing, they don't really think that it can go anywhere. And that's why people are skeptical of it because of network marketing as a whole. It's not necessarily us or the business. It's just network marketing that people are so skeptical about because it's different, but it's really not. It's just a better way that people are scared of, I guess. So then you take all of those things and you total it up, so then you're going to put it all together. And then what does that do for you as a whole? And so then you have that near you, and you always look at it and remind yourself of that. I don't know why she's not getting invited into this. So then you always, like if you get defeated or you need somebody to talk to, then you always have us to reach up to. So always have that near you. And so then if you are down, then you'll have it. And then whenever you look at it, you're going to say, can I afford not to do something this month? Like, this is what it's going to do for me and where it's going to take me. Can I afford to take a nap today? Can I afford to go to bed early today? No, the answer is always going to be no, because whatever your why is, whatever your dreams are always going to be more important than that 1 hour nap that you want to take or that 20-minute break that you want to take. So that's why it's important to have all of those things. Okay. So the next thing on top of like this action piece is, the numbers game. Like, we talk about numbers all the time, and this is the importance of the numbers. So in the 30 days, say you want to recruit 20 people, and this stuff's all from Eric Worre. So this is like the importance of doing personal development, but he's all about numbers. So say in your 30 days, you want to recruit 20 people. What is it going to do for your business in that small amount of time? So he said, of the 20, 12 of them will probably do something. So that means 8 of them will probably ignore you or never talk to you again, or may never even get their commissions off of hold, okay? So of 20, only 12 will do something. And then after 90 days, so 3 months later, only 8 of them will still be around because the others will dwindle off or they didn't try or whatever happened with them. And then after 1 full year, you're going to have 4 of this 20 that you recruited in this one month time. And then after 5 years, you're going to have 2 people. So you're going to have 2 rock stars of those 20 people who are going to stick around and be around during that time. So that's what he says that he's figured out, because he's been in the industry for over 20 years. So by doing these numbers, that's what it means. The other thing is, he said, like, think of it as bringing in this large group of people. If you bring in, what's easier, doing this push for 30 days or doing and recruiting 20 people in 30 days? Or is it harder to recruit 20 people over 12 months and work hard every single month for 12 months? Like, what's more painful? The slow and steady death, right? Rather than just getting it over with. And so if you think of it that way too, like putting this work in at this time and then it's going to pay off rather than just gradually going slow, walking through the mud. Like, that's his, analogy that he uses. So he says, stop crawling and just bust out and get off of the ground like the jet. You can't fly a plane by just putzing around. You're not ever going to get off the ground. You have to go full blast at some point to get you up off the ground. So that momentum is what's going to carry you through as well. So, you're not going to stop working after these 30 days, but you have to train your team and, keep doing everything. But this huge push of recruiting and meeting with a ton of people, that's what's going to be the difference. And so he said, as far as the numbers for presenting, so let's just say, but if you do 10 presentations, you get 2 people or 3 to 4. So in order for that to happen, if you're trying to recruit 20 people, if I have to do 10 presentations to get 2 distributors, that means I have to do 100 presentations to get 20 distributors in that month. So 100 presentations and I'll get 20 distributors. But we all know how numbers work. If I set up 100 meetings, do you think I'm actually going to have 100 meetings? Probably not. Some people are going to, cancel, or something's going to come up with their kids or whatever, and that's fine. So really, you should probably have about 125 appointments. And, about 80, 90 of them are going to still happen. And that way you're not really, stressing about it. You're going to get that number of appointments, you're going to have to text anywhere from 300 to 500 people. Like, he said now's like the texting time. So if you were to call somebody, they're probably not going to answer, but they'll pick up a text message like that. They'll respond right away. You never had those people where you call them and they don't answer, but then you text them whatever that small thing was going to be, and they respond right back to you. So people don't really want to talk on the phone now. He says text messaging is what really, really does it. So you're going to text or call 300 people. But you need to have a hundreds list of 300 to 500 people so that you know where to start. And the way that it's gonna work is you're gonna have high energy. Maybe the first couple times that you have these appointments, these phone calls or whatever it is, then you're gonna be like, kind of dry. But then as you keep doing them, you're just gonna be pumping through people. So then the no's don't hurt as bad, right? Because you're just like, I don't care. I got to get to my yes. I got to talk to 10 so that I can get my 2. I got to talk to 10 so I can get my 2. So you're just pumping through, telling your story, doing your presentation of the party pad, and then you're getting in front of all of these people. So the thing is with this, this is only for people that, want to do the work and then get to that diamond rank probably in 30 days. So some people can't do this much. They work full time, and that's fine. We're not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just giving you the exact tools to get you to that point so that, people know how to get there. So when you have this condensed burst of energy, that's whenever you're going to get momentum, and then success loves speed. So you get that pain over with just in one time rather than over small gradual pain. So the way he says like your schedule should be set up is your first 10 days, you need to be contacting people, inviting people, and telling your story. And so your story is what's super important. It's going to take you anywhere from 45 seconds to 2 minutes on the far, far end to tell your story. So you need to figure your story out too. And your story needs to have a beginning, middle, and end. So before it works, you need to talk about the pain, the things that, brought you to it. So my story, for example, is I used to do ultrasounds, and I loved what I did. I was very, very happy with it, but I hated that somebody else had to stay home with my kids and watch my kids. And I hated driving to work every day and being in rush hour traffic. And then I would get home after a 10-hour day turned it into a 10 or 12-hour day. So it sucked really bad, but I loved what I did. And It Works found me. I didn't look for it. It came to me. And now I'm able to stay home with my kids, and I found a better way that worked better for me and my family. And that's my story just in a quick little bit. You're not going all exaggerated, but you want to grab somebody's attention with what you did prior, what you're doing now, and then how it changed your life. And then you can even say where you're going. So I'm trying to help anybody who wants to stay home with their kids, if it's a mom that I'm talking to, and you kind of put that, what you're trying to do.
Okay, I'll listen to it later.
So that you got to figure out your story too. And we can do another Zoom on creating that story too, because I don't want to go too far into it. So your first 10 days are going to be, like I said, focusing on contacting people, inviting people, and telling your story. And you're going to front load talking to all of these people. So you're going to talk to all these people and set up appointments. And then the next 10 days are going to be follow up. So you know how planting our seeds work. You talk to somebody, they're going to watch you for a little bit, and then they're going to join the business. So we're going to give them 30 days to do that. I'm going to talk to them in the first 10 days. I'm going to follow up with them in the next 10 days. And then the next 10 days are going to be helping people sign up and make that decision and figuring out if it's a good time for them or not. So that's how your 30 days of the month would go. Okay. So in order for you to do this, you have to prepare yourself and tell yourself, like, I have no other option. I'm going to have my book in front of me and tell me exactly how to get there and what it means for me. And then I'm not giving myself an out. Like, I'm not stopping. If my goal is to recruit 10 people, I'm not allowed to stop at 9. If it's the 28th day of the month and I have 9 people that I've recruited, I'm not allowed to stop because I was almost there. You have to tell yourself there's no other option. Like, you have to get that last person, and you're going to have a sacrifice. So there's some things that you have to give up. Like, none of it's going to be easy. So that hour of sleep, the sleeping, getting less sleep at night, waking up earlier to do things, getting out of your comfort zone by talking to people, because that's going to be the hardest part. You have to do things that are a little bit uncomfortable for you, right? So those short-term pains, that short-term pain is going to be a long-term gain. And then sometimes they say you have to like negotiate with your family, because for me, if I want to go out and do all of this work, I can't do it with my kids, right? Like, somebody's got to help me out here. There's no way I can do it all alone. So you'd have to have that talk with your spouse or help from your mom or somebody. It's obvious that we're not going to be able to do it alone. So you have to have that negotiation with your spouse and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to push hard for this amount of time, but then this is what's going to happen at the end, and make sure that they're on that same page as you and help you out. And then as far as time, so, full time would be like 10 to 16 hours a day, and then like 6 days a week. And then part-time would be like 5 to 8 hours a night doing this. So say you work, 8 to 4, you'd come home and you'd work from 5 to 10 p.m. every night and put that extra 5 hours of work into it, because you're going to have to contact all of those people, and then you're going to have to message and meet with those people too. So it's going to take a lot of work. And then you're going to need like your party pad and all that stuff, like all of your business materials to go with you. And then the last thing is imagining it done. So imagine if you did all of this stuff for a month, and then what your end result's going to be. Like, you have to envision that stuff for yourself, where you would be at the end and what it would feel like to earn that $5,000 bonus. And anybody that hated on you, like, what would it mean to be able to show them that you could actually do that? So that's basically what it would take. I mean, I don't know if you guys had seen Tiffany Hers YouTube video that she had did live, but basically the same thing. Like, you have to have an outline, and then you have to have sacrifice. And, the beauty of what we have is we can do it as much as little as we want, but it still has to be done. Like, not doing doesn't get you there. So it's totally up to you guys. If you don't want to work, or you want to recruit 3 people, we can show you how to do that. If you want to recruit 20, we can show you how to do that. So everybody's different, and we're going to do whatever you want. We're not going to, be mad at anybody for going faster or slower or any of that stuff. So that's what's wonderful about what we have, and that everybody's unique with what they have too. I'm going to stop the recording real quick and then have you guys ask questions.